Entering the league in 2011, Warriors guard Klay Thompson has steadily earned the reputation as one of the greatest shooters of all time, possibly second behind Stephen Curry. Klay Thompson's career has been nothing short of spectacular. Having phenomenal shooting performances night after night, he currently holds the NBA record for most points in a quarter with 37, the NBA record for most three-pointers made in a single game with 14, and let's not forget about his performance of 60 points and only 11 dribbles. I thought it'd be a long time until we came across another player that could shoot the ball as well as Klay Thompson, but the wait just might be over. Duncan Robinson of the Miami Heat has shown everyone that he could very well become a better shooter than Klay, and I might as go as far to say Duncan Robinson is a better shooter right now. Now I know that sounds crazy. When I heard Klay-Duncan comparisons, I thought, get out of here, Duncan would never beat Klay. But then I looked at the numbers, and you guys might be surprised with what I found. To determine who's the better shooter, we first need to define our criteria. Using stats from their most recent full season, I'll be judging the players on the following: shooting numbers, hot zones, quickness of release, and shot types. After a brief analysis for each criteria, I will determine a winner for the round. Before we start, let's take a quick look at each player's physical profile. I'm showing this because I wanted to show that Duncan and Klay have identical frames. They're relatively the same height and same weight. It's not shown here, but Klay has a 6'9" wingspan. I couldn't find any records on Duncan's, probably because he wasn't a top prospect, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that their wingspans are about the same. In short, there aren't any true physical advantages the two have over each other. Now that we got all that stuff out of the way, let's get started with the comparison. For the round of basic shooting stats, we're going to compare Duncan and Klay's field goal percentage, three-point percentage, and free throw percentage. During the 2019-2020 regular season, Duncan shot 47% from the field, 44.6% from beyond the arc, and 93.1% from the line. While in Klay's most recent year, the 2018-2019 season, he shot 46.7% from the field, which is 0.3 lower than Duncan, 40.2% from beyond the arc, which is 4.4% lower than Duncan, and 81.6% from the free throw line, which is also lower than Duncan. There are two things I'd also like to note. Percentage-wise, Klay has never had a better three-point shooting season than Duncan, despite both of them attempting roughly 600 threes. Also, last season, Duncan cracked the top 10 in true shooting percentage, a list that is usually populated by big men, and a feat Klay has never accomplished himself. With all that being said, I understand that there's an argument for Klay that he takes twice as many shots as Duncan, and if Duncan's shot volume increased, his percentages would likely drop. Considering Duncan attempted more threes in their most recent season and still had a better percentage, I'm going to go ahead and ignore that. So the winner of this round is Duncan Robinson. Now for the round of hot zones, or hot zone hunting for my NBA 2K fans, we're going to compare 6 different shooting areas: the restricted area, paint shots, mid-range, left and right corner, and above the break threes, which is any three-pointer not in the corner. But before we get into all that, I need you guys to do me a huge favor. Go down to the comment section and leave me your prediction on who you think is going to be the winner of this huge contest or comparison. Also, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I could really use some love. If you don't feel like doing any of those things, you can just wait and watch Klay get loose off the Henny. Okay, y'all, we are back. Now here are the actual results of the winner for each area. In red we have Duncan's wins, and in blue we have Klay. As you can see, the results are split 50-50. Duncan was able to beat off Klay in the restricted area with 81% shooting, and in the paint, not including the restricted area, Klay was able to top Duncan with 42.9% shooting. From the mid-range, Duncan only shot 26.7%, which honestly would guarantee him a loss against any great shooter in the NBA. And then we have Duncan winning the left corner with an impressive 54.5% and above the break with 43.2%, leaving Klay ownership of the right corner with 52.3%. Seeing that we have a tie, I'll be making the executive decision in this round and declare Klay the winner. This decision is based on the fact that Duncan barely took any mid-range shots and paint shots and still lost. And unless you're 5 years old, you're probably not taking any jump shots from the restricted area, so we can't really count that as a win for Duncan. Now for round 3, we have quickness of release. When watching both players shoot, I see a lot of similarities. Both players are capable of a 1-2 gather when warranted, but seem to favor hopping into their shot, which I believe to be quicker. They both get their work done early by squaring up to the basket before the ball even touches their hands, and also give the defense little to no time to close out because they're capable of going up as soon as they catch it. So when it comes to quickness of release, I feel that both players are very even. Now for the round of shot types, the name is pretty self-explanatory. To be considered a great shooter, you have to be able to do more than just catch and shoot. Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter of all time because he's able to get his shot off without any help from a screen. He can break his defender down and pop it. So for this round, we are going to compare Duncan and Klay's ability to get their shot off in multiple ways. Looking at the stats, Klay has proven his ability to get his shot off in multiple ways. Not only can he pull up and catch and shoot, he can step back, fade away, hit turnarounds, and so much more. There's no wonder how he's able to drop a 60-piece nugget using only 11 packs of sweet and sour. Duncan's shooting, on the other hand, isn't very versatile at all. Looking at the numbers, you can see that if Duncan isn't taking a catch and shoot shot, pull up, or taking a layup, he's probably giving the ball up. You can see that when he does take a step back jumper, he seems to hit it, but 9 field goal attempts isn't nearly a large enough sample size to say he's actually like that. One thing I will say for D-Rob though, is I don't think the Miami Heat's playstyle encourages those type of shots that Klay regularly takes. Here's a snapshot of the different type of shots the Miami Heat take compared to Klay. If you look, Klay has taken almost half as many step back jumpers and has attempted and made more fadeaway jumpers than the Miami Heat team as a whole. So Duncan probably is capable of hitting all those shots, but it's just that the Eastern Conference champions give up good shots for great shots. Unfortunately, we can only go off what's been proven, making Klay the winner of this round hands down. To wrap things up, I think it's safe to say that both of these players are phenomenal shooters. They make history night after night, whether it is Duncan breaking franchise records or Klay making once-in-a-lifetime performances the daily news. However, as far as this debate goes, I would say Duncan is the better three-point shooter, but Klay without a doubt is the better overall shooter. After seeing these numbers put up by Duncan, I hope he looks to expand his game like Klay and earn a bigger role for the Miami Heat or any other NBA organization. Klay has proven all you need is a jump shot and attention to detail to average 20 per night. With Duncan Robinson shooting, there's no doubt in my mind he could be a 20 per night kind of guy.